Welcome back. I'm going to add a new domain model to our project so I can describe the ASP membership tables. I have a database called the ASP Net Provider. This was actually built from, there's a program that can build this for you. I think it's ASP Net Registration, something like that. I'll show you the program later. But basically, you double click it and it has a number of tables, a number of views, and a number of stored procedures that actually come with the ASP provider. So when you go to create a new user or change a password or give a person roles, it's already sort of baked in the cake with Microsoft. But this is a good exercise in how to import an EDMX. So I've got this existing model. I'm going to steal my connection string because I'm going to use it in my program. So let's close this guy. I'm going to say in my data access layer, I'm going to right click and say add. I'm going to stop it. There we go. Right click and say add new item. And I knew the EDMX comes from the data model, so I'm going to look for the data under Visual C. And I'm going to look for entity domain model. That's this. And I'm going to name this ASP.NET. That's really what I'm describing. It's my ASP.NET domain model. I click add. I'm going to generate the model from the database. And it's going to ask me where I'm getting it from. And I'm wondering, do I have a connection string already for this? I don't think I do. So I'm going to give it a new connection string. The new connection string is essentially the same way I connect with SQL Management Studio. That's my database. I use SQL authentication. And you know what the password is. And I know I'm looking for the ASP.NET provider. Let me double check with that. Yeah, that's what I called it. Awesome. Let's test connection. Everything's cool. I click OK. And there we go. It's going to save my connection string. I'm going to include, I don't care about the security. This is really for school, but the password's going to be saved in the web config file. You'll see it. Let's click next. Now it's looking at the database and it's sort of interrogating the database to see what's in the database and what can be pulled forward. And it's going to discover all the tables. It's going to discover all the views. It's going to discover all the stored procedures. So I'm going to just blindly import everything. Why not? Click finish. You can see that it's cycling through. Now it's not pulling in the data. That's the key. It's not pulling in the data. It's pulling in the structure of the tables, the structure of the stored procedures, how to call it. So I can call these things from my own side. If that makes any sense. In other words, if I look over here, there's a stored procedure out here for get user by email. So if I had to give an email address for a person that registered, I can get the user information by the email address. I can reset a password. Now, when I have it on the application side, I can call any one of these functions from my program. If you remember, there's sort of a registration thing that's built into .NET that only does like a small part of what you can do with ASP. Let's say I wanted to associate a role with somebody. With a user, right? So if you had 3 roles in an application, you wanted to associate roles with users. It's frankly a pain to do outside of the provider. Bringing this model in, now I can use this to call those functions. So if you look, while this is doing its thing, I've got my full. Okay, see, these are all the stored procedures. There's no rhyme or reason in how they paint this thing other than the tables. You'll see that the relationships are correct for the tables. The stored procedures are just sitting up here sort of disconnected. You can see them all. So for right now, I'm going to stop this right now. I just wanted to show you first step would be how to import the EDMX, or I'm sorry, attach the create the EDMX, from the database, and then the next step I'm going to do is map my entity domains, like my ASP users table, and map that to my domain models on my side. And I'm going to do that in the next video. Thank you.